everybody? It's Justin. Oh. Sorry if I sound a little bit low energy. I'm pretty sleepy. Alright. Popping out. It's Justin. Oh. Sorry if I sound a little bit low energy. I'm pretty sleepy. Alright. Hello to Watch Me Work Network. We're going to now continue to share with the white folks. I'm just kidding. Hello to Watch Me Work Network. Hello to Watch Me Work Network. Okay. That's that. And then we're going to get to the Twitters. Okay. Get it. Okay. Hashtag love hashtag black game devs and I think that'll be it. Oh yeah. Hashtag black. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now then, we're going to fire up the GIMP. There we go. Sorry about that. I should have already done that. That's my bad. Oh, good grief. So anyway, guys. There is a moment where you have to decide some things in game development, and I have reached that point. I don't think I'm going to add too much more to Black Simulator. I mean, I wanted it to be this kind of standalone game and everything, and I get a lot of suggestions about what to do with it next and everything, you know, but you got to filter those with a certain amount of taking things with a grain of salt, because if not, you will be adding for this thing forever, like forever. And some person's idea of perfection or whatever, you know, about how it's supposed to go and anything like that, you know what I'm saying? I get a lot of suggestions about what to do with it next. It may not be the same as another person's, you know, understanding what perfection actually is. So you have to kind of begin to appreciate that you gotta just make your game eventually, you know. And then if you just gotta put yourself out in the marketplace eventually. So waiting on that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying, in terms of it being perfect the way that everybody thinks it's going to be perfect and everything, you know, that doesn't really exist. There is what you made, what you decided to make, and either you succeeded at what you wanted to accomplish or you didn't. Simple as that. Ooh. Ooh, sorry about that. Maybe you're yawning in your ears. All right. Okay, this is the old guy that you talk to that calls you the N-word. As he's trying to be relatable. And white people, old white people, bless y'all's heart. You try so hard. It always backfires. So just don't. Just relate on the human level. Do that. All right. I need to take this guy and kind of I forgot to. Oh, darn it. I didn't mean to do it like that way. Let's just delete that whole page. Alright. Let's do this. Oh, there he is. Hi, Iris. I think you mentioned Iris before. But there's another Iris in Mega Man lore. And trying to make sure is that the same one. I don't know what's going on. Just leave me alone. And I was out of town last week, Dave, so I just want to let you know that. Yes, that's right. I remember that Iris was a real person now. So that may sound like, yeah, like, you know, imaginary friends. I didn't mean to sound like that. But I am actually absolutely happy that she is here. That makes me happy. Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that last week, dude. I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to be a booty face and be like, yeah, whatever. But nah, I was out of town. I was in North Carolina. I was in Salem. So, doing some business stuff there. Getting some, it was like a conference, you know what I'm saying? Like, if anyone can go to like a pep rally kind of conference or whatever, you know, you should always go. They're very, very good for raising your belief and things like that. Very, very good at that. And whoever thinks that they don't need that, you're dumb. I'm just kidding. You're not dumb, but you definitely need that because I promise you, planet Earth is doing its job to make sure that, you know, you don't get too out of pocket in terms of, you know, thinking independently, thinking differently, things like that, you know. Planet Earth does not want you to do those things. So therefore, it is good to have some reinforcements in terms of some positive stuff being put into your head consistently and taking the opportunities to hear from positive people, positive speakers, things like that. It is well worth the investment in terms of time, money, and energy and things like that. So I just encourage you guys to definitely be on your square. So I promise you, the devil is on his square 24/7. I'm just saying. But that feed the good stuff. Feed that into your brain. There's plenty of bad out there to where, you know. And here's the crazy thing is that, you know, like, plenty of people, especially in the news media, make a lot of money in reporting the bad. So that should let you know something right there in terms of, you know, how, just how negative things can get and how planet Earth kind of works. It's not the most positive place in the world. So, feed yourself. Oh, okay, cool. Well, it is always a pleasure seeing you around, Captain McGee. Sounds great, man. And I am going to take a bit on your offer in terms of doing the Twitch stuff. I just have to set it up. Stop being such a baby about it. it's like Twitch is doing enough now to where it's kind of like, okay, you just can't ignore Twitch anymore. I think they sided with some some content creators, and they're going to be kind of, you know, archiving their content and stuff like that, you know. It's going to be pretty crazy, so I'm like, yeah, maybe that's something that I might want to do and participate in more and take that more seriously, so. Truly, I should have already taken it seriously, but, you know, leave me alone. My computer's frustrating me. Let's see. Okay. I was on my Facebook at the time to see what someone was saying. Let's see here. One of the people on my Facebook group hates my stuff. And it doesn't really bother me. It's not my Facebook group. Say Facebook group should say that. But the reason why it doesn't bother me is because there has been no attempt to understand. It's like, it looks like this, so, because this is what it looks like to some people. It could look like to some people that, you know, I'm trying to make this this like sympathetic game where I'm like, oh, take pity on black people and expect less from us and things like that. Like, no, that's not what this is at all. So, it can look that way, but it's not that way at all. And it doesn't offend me if, like, I don't know, like, criticism in terms of, having not wanting to understand in any way, shape, or form and everything, that doesn't bother me at all. 'Cause I'm just kind of like, well, if you would play it, maybe you might understand. But that's too much for some people. I think what is dangerous in any side that you go with, I don't care if it's even a good side, is just groupthink. Groupthink, like, I'm a conservative. It's like, okay, which means that you turn your brain off, and whatever the conservative side says is complete and total truth. And it's like, nah. And as a Christian, you might say that, okay, that's what we do, though. It's like, no, not necessarily. We have a common goal, but doesn't mean that we all think the same. There's going to be certain things that God expects from others because of their purposes and plans that he has for them, versus the other way around. So, that is a thing that I think that we have to be very, very, very careful of, is the idea that groupthink is a good thing. It is not. It is a terrible thing. If you agree with everything that your quote-unquote side agrees with, you've turned your brain off. I promise you that. Okay, bam. Or bamf. Oh boy. Alright, we have old white dude. Number whatever this is. Okay, bam. And then we're going to take this and import Darn it, where is it? Yeah, somehow it's not here, so let's try something else. Ugh. Okay, no, I didn't. I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Alright. Open this layer. Okay. Let's go ahead and shrink you down to size. Okay, put him right there. I'm gonna start another one. Oh my goodness, why is my computer just chugging? Ugh. Bring this one up. So finish that one. Now we're going to go down to the hood. I think I have that update to make sure everything goes slow. Thanks for the update there, Microsoft. Guys, you're just wonderful. Let's see what we got here. Cool, 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 cool. Oh, oops. Let's do this first. Okay. Okay. All this is just looking just lovely. Just take a look at this. Let's take a look at it. This can go down some. There we go. And this right here. I swear, dude, technology is so crazy these days. Like, the fact that something like this is even available to like your average Joe Blow, and that this is like shareware, this is free, and it's, man, like sometimes you have to just kind of just sit back and just marvel, not at technology necessarily, but just marvel at the fact that, you know, anybody can now do this. You know, anybody can now make a game. You know, it takes some effort and some energy to do it, but you know, for the most part, anybody can make a game now. I mean, I dreamed of doing stuff like this. You know, I said I was gonna work for, I think it was Konami. Yes, it was Konami. When I grow up, I want to work for Konami to make video games. Is what I said. Glad I dodged a bullet on that one. But sometimes it's just good to just take inventory of these things that just seem so ordinary or mundane or whatever, you know. It's just like, no, like, none of this stuff is mundane or ordinary, dude. This is extraordinary stuff. And you just sit back and just be thankful, you know. Like, not being thankful does nothing but give you the incentive to sit back and think about what you don't have, rather than counting what you do have. And I like to sit back and count what I do have. Because, man, it did not have to be this way. I mean, I straight up, I'm thankful just for being born in the U.S. It's like, I could have been, like, this nation, I've taken it for granted myself, you know, especially when I was in college, because, you know, like, your prime directive in college is to say how everything is stupid and how, you know, it's all a scam and it's all, the American dream is the worst thing ever and all that other stuff, you know. I mean, it's a provocative way of thinking, but it doesn't actually reach the conclusion in terms of contrasting certain ideas, and what America does and how well it does anything like that, you know. It doesn't really do anything other than, you know, give you a contrarian kind of view. It's like, you know, I hate America because everyone loves America, you know. It's like, well, that doesn't really mean anything, you know. It just means that you have a dissenting opinion, but that dissenting opinion doesn't mean that it's a true opinion. It just means it's a dissenting opinion. It doesn't have to actually carry any type of weight behind it or say anything. It's just provocative speech, you know. So what the fudge? Let me think. Because I think this nation's pretty cool. I appreciate it much more now than I did when I was a kid. I don't like that. Like, I appreciate this nation so much more now. Because I started to appreciate it more when I began to, you know, notice situations internationally for Christians, for my brothers and sisters in Christ and everything. Like my actual family, you know what I'm saying? Because my family is by the blood, introduced by the blood and everything, you know? Like, so I consider any true brother or sister in Christ to be truly my family. And what they have to go through and get killed for and raped and all this horrible stuff, you know, like stuff I take for granted to just, you know, say my piece or defend the faith or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can get killed somewhere else, you know, like it's, and even certain living conditions in certain places, you know, it's just like, it's just so different. And I was like, you know what, I like it here. I like it here, you know. I've told the story before about my pastor when he went to a where did he go? It wasn't Zimbabwe. It definitely wasn't. It wasn't that. Ghana. He went to Ghana. And he was helping put a water purifying system in this village, and they set it up finally. He talked about how, you know, people had to get their water from a well, and it's like a deep well, you know what I'm saying, like, and pulling all the water out of there, you know what I'm saying? These giant buckets and everything, you know, and stuff like that, you know. It's like hard work. Like really hard work. And they're putting this water purifier in there. And remember, like, it's a well, so, you know, you got, like, worms and stuff in there and everything, you know. You got, like, all this kind of bacteria and diseases and things like that, you know, and stuff. And it's like, man, you know. And we complain about a little bit of fluoride in our water, you know what I'm saying? They got, like, bugs and worms and bacteria and crap, you know what I'm saying? Where it's all cloudy looking and everything. And, you know, and they install it and give it to this older woman, and she openly weeps about this water, and she goes, from what I understand, it was that she was saying, this is the sweetest water I've ever tasted. And she cried, and I was like, man, like, all this stuff we take for granted is just insane. So that's why I get kind of frustrated. I'm like, sometimes I get frustrated because it's like, just the ingratitude that we can show in a nation like this is remarkable to me. We do have our legit problems, but you know, in comparison to most of the world, there's nothing like this place on Earth. It really isn't. It's absolutely extraordinary what we can do and say. Yeah, it's just blow your mind. It really should. Oh man. Anyway. Okay, so we have these guys now. We have a picture of them now. Actually, I didn't have to make that guy. Whoops. Well, that's just unfortunate. Yeah, because he doesn't have a picture. Oh no! Oh yes, he does. Okay, okay. Yeah, he does have a picture. There we go. Discard. Oh yeah, we want to save this definitely. All right, guys. This is my time, my Vader time, and you can find out links in the description below to see when I'm going to be releasing things, doing things, etc., etc. All of it. So, I will see you all next week, Lord willing. I'm going to have to hop up in here so I can go ahead and get to a nice little meeting. All right, guys. Loves and hugs, and bye-bye.